Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is time again for EGL 1 Season 2. It's DUC taking on Punx. I'm Hellbird. It's Notahero joining me tonight, and I must say, I was so calm. I told everyone I was going to be calm, and then we got counted, and I was like, I'm not calm. I can't help it, right? I'm really enjoying this. This has been an amazing event, and Dota South Africa is killing it at the moment. Notahero, somebody else has been killing it every night on the analyst desk. Sir, nice to have you with me again. How are you this evening?
It's always a pleasure to be here. Nice, not a bird cast. It's always fun. It's always a bit of banter. And tonight we've got a cracker, eh? Like Punx versus DUC. Two teams that slug it out. And this is a massive one because this was in Season 1. This was the 4th and 5th position. But unfortunately, one of these guys are going home tonight. So not even getting up there. And I can't wait, man. Like statistically, history, long games, intense games, fighting games. But how do you feel about this Punx versus DUC matchup? Any favorites?
Actually, this is one of the games I really think is going to go to Game 3. I do think that I kind of feel like Punx have been better overall in this year, but I don't know, DUC is a way of just kind of sneaking in these like important victories at important times, right? So I do think that anybody who takes DUC lightly is, I mean, dude, we always talk about, right? Like, the Sin 5 Slayer, DUC, right? If Sin 5 can lose to DUC in an important matchup, so can anybody else in the country. So Punx have to really approach this with every little bit of vigor and, you know, just effort as they can possibly muster. Otherwise, DUC's going to kill them. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. And I don't think Punx are going to let DUC roll over them. So with that said, I think they're kind of the favorites. It'll be my favorites, but I think this is going to Game 3.
Yeah, and it's also an interesting matchup. Like both these teams have like a cornerstone player. Like Punx really like play around FICO damage. He's stepped up his game in the mid lane. I think he's a massive mid at the moment. So interesting to see how DUC, who's a team that like shuffles their positions around quite a lot, who they're going to put up against FICO damage in the mid lane. And then DUC do kind of the same thing with Crimson Tide. He's their cornerstone player. He's the player that makes sure he gets farm, and then this man he's going to give you a good chance of winning the game. So very much a Crimson Tide versus FICO damage matchup tonight. Is Crimson going to go middle, or are they going to put Cuckoo middle? I'm not sure, but it's DUC. You can never call these things up front. We'll probably get more information in the draft, but it's the Crimson Tide versus FICO show, and Punx is so stable at the moment, and adding Astra to their lineup has given them a different dynamic because he's a player that likes to play aggressive and likes to play fast from the offlane. And if FICO has a good time and Astra starts causing chaos on the map, that's when Nemi starts shining as well, because he gets his farm as the carry, he gets his farm as the pos one, and then he's a solid player. So DUC strategy, try and not have let FICO damage completely take over the game, and from the side of Punx, same with Crimson Tide.
I mean, so it's funny because you're talking obviously about the individuals who are going to stand out and perform in this matchup and who's going to come online. I mean, in that regard, I must say FICO's been a bit of a monster lately. I think he's one of the players really to keep an eye on. I think, 2 to 3 years from now as well, he's going to just be going from strength to strength, right? But as you mentioned, Crimson's been around for a long time, right? Like, this is a player that's been, I mean, you would know better than me. How long has he been around for, Notahero?
Well, he was on my team for about 3.5 years, and before that, he was in and out of quite a few teams. But he's my boy. We have a solid friendship on top of being teammates. So Crimson Tide, massively skilled, and I think he's at the moment playing some of the best Dota that he's ever played. He's taken that responsibility of being that cornerstone, that pinnacle player, and he hasn't crumbled. He's excelled. So definitely a player to watch out for in this matchup. And then you were talking about like FICO damage for Punx. It's so interesting. If you go and look at the games that Punx actually lose, it's games where FICO is just he's not having a game. People are completely taking him out. And the games where they're crashing is the games that he's on the front foot. They're probably going to want to try and secure a good pick for him, an uncounted pick, and just make sure on this mid lane that he can start making rotations, putting pressure on the map. But we've got a draft, Mr. Hellbird.
No, we don't yet, actually. And I'll tell you why, right? Because there's something that has caught my interest, and I want to ask you what's going on. Maybe, you seem to know the players better than any other cast I've ever met, right? So tell me this. Why has one of the players on DUC changed his nick to Mark These Words, and somebody from Punx has changed the nickname to I Don't Think You Marked the Words? Any insight into that? Any insight what's going on over there?
I don't know. I've no idea. Maybe one of them's names was just that, and then Punx reacted to it.
No. That's not how this works. There's a
Vex. I have no idea.
Sense it, guys. There's some bad blood in the air. I don't know. Like I feel like a shark tonight. I'm keying in on that one. But anyways, okay. Now there is a draft. Let's get stuck in. Mars picked up tight end and snapped by the response. Pretty stock standard. Not a hero. Take it away.
Yeah. So they take out Death Prophet, which is obviously a DUC staple for Legend. That's the only time you'll probably see Legend dropping into the mid lane is where they get their Death Prophet. And then this Alchemist pick has been their go-to. It's been the hero that in crunch matches or back against the wall matches, like this one, because it's elimination, they go with Alchemist and Crimson Tide just runs over the map. Like, he knows how to farm with the hero, he knows like the strengths of the hero and how he can push it. And it's an early farming hero that DUC utilizes pretty well. And it's one of the few heroes which increases the tempo that they play with. Like, both these teams like to go late game, so Alchemist can go late game, but he's also an early presence on the map. We do see then Rubik coming out. We saw some Rubiks against Tidehunter, but that was
I'm really impressed.
That was a different Harry the Hams Rubik. So I'm not sure if probably FSM is going to pick this up, but I'm not. If FSM can play 50% as well on this hero as Harry the Hams did, we're gonna see some ravages on the side of DUC.
7%. I mean, that Rubik game was I got excited when I saw
Rubik. And this is not taking anything away from FSM. This is just like Harry the Hams. That series, Rubik versus Tide, how he played it was absolutely insane. So
I think it's just the gauntlet being laid down for EGL, right? Like, you here to win the entire competition. Like, no one in these teams right now is thinking about anything other than winning this game tonight and progressing all the way to the grand finals, right? So here's the thing. You're gonna have the best Rubik in the tournament, right? If you want to win it. So hey, why not? I gotta ask you something about this Legend ban on DP. We see it all the time. Did you ever let Legend have his DP up against you guys? And what was?
We kind of gave it to him. I was a firm believer of I backed myself in understanding the meta, and if Death Prophet wasn't part of the meta, I would give it to him. And then I would probably lose a game and then ban it the second game. But no, it all depends how you feel about it. Like, why give someone that's played probably one of the most Death Prophet game, or one of the players that's played the most Death Prophet games in the world, and just take it out, don't give it to him, like you don't have to deal with it. And the thing is, like, Punx also likes heroes like Void Spirit for FICO damage, and even though Death Prophet might not be able to kill him in the lane because he is elusive, he can't really lane effectively because Death Prophet bullies melee heroes. So I guess it's just they like picking this hero. It's not a comfy pick for FICO in his hero pool, because you can see the Lina's been taken out as well. That's also one of FICO's heroes. And Juggernaut's been taken out. The other one is SF. They like SF for FICO damage quite a bit. And we've seen him, Lina, Void Spirit, and mainly Shadow Fiend. Like, that's kind of his staple. And you can see, like, Viper's been taken out, Death Prophet's been taken out. So it might just be like, let's try and set up FICO so he can be that playmaker in the mid game.
All right, well, we're entering into the second stage of picks. Let's see what they're going to go with here. So let's just put it all together again. Tidehunter Snap already picked up Mars and Rubik, and they're going to follow up with the Drow Ranger. This feels kind of classic in a way, but I don't know if this fits in the current patch. I mean, Drow behind the big tanky
the heroes like Drow and PA is kind of like the up-and-coming carries at the moment in the higher ranks, and our SA scene is kind of adapting it. Like, every night, if I play a pub, there's either a Phantom Assassin or Drow on a team. So the hero is starting to get more popular. She has been receiving like mini buffs across the last few patches, and I don't think it's bad at the moment. It's like Drow plus Snapfire in a lane if they are going to lane together. If the Snap's not going to go to the Tide, not bad at all. Like minus armor with the frost arrows, pretty good. They just need to get like something else to play in front now. This is Jakiro. This is a duck hero, hey? This is 100% a duck hero. They probably the only team is like consistently picking Jakiro, and that's Legends hero. So we're not going to be seeing Legend drop into that mid lane. Death Prophet's been taken out, and they've picked up the Jakiro. So quite a bit of team fight from Duck. Like Rubik plus Mars is pretty good, and I've put this Jakiro overlay with it. The only thing that I don't really like that a lot is that your two supports can't kill someone by themselves.
I was going to say the exact same thing. Like Rubik and Jakiro are almost like both heroes that are really good at setting something up.
Yeah, but they're not killers.
But I guess Mars is good so far, something to gang into. I mean, Lifestealer's not awful. It's not the worst laning carry in the game. So if they pick up, I don't know if it's enough though. Like I don't think Lifestealer +1 kills anything, right? Maybe Mars +1 does though.
Yeah, like Lifestealer, Jakiro lane is pretty strong. They're not gonna maybe kill someone, but it's a very sustainable lane. Jakiro's got one of the highest agility gains in the game. Like weird, Antero, yeah. But it's a hero that can line up against this Beastmaster. If you see an early level of rage, which I am expecting, then he can probably try and kill these balls with the Jakiro's help. But without Jakiro there, Beastmaster is pretty good against Lifestealer. Lifestealers don't like putting additional levels into rage early on because they need his other spells to farm efficiently. So hold on, where's this Beastmaster going? Is this a mid-tide hunter?
That's a very fair point. I mean, I was focusing on the fact that Beastmaster is such a nice steroid for Drow as well, right? So there's a great combination there, but that is kind of interesting. I mean, do you think it's? I mean, it could be a 4 Beastmaster as well, though.
I would rather have Beastmaster on 5 than 4. I think it's going to do the same thing that it does from 4, and then you just give Snapfire like farm.
I mean, in a way, I think this hero has been picked for its aura and the fact that it's got a BKB penetrating ulti for the Lifestealer. Like, I mean, also Fantastic Vision. I could just actually keep rattling on. I still think it's a good pick against them, but I think how they opt to play it is definitely yeah.
So either Tide it could be a pos 5 Tide as well. We've seen that. That's not like ludicrous. Big tanky boy can like zone people. So
this is weird because Tide feels so good at 3 at the moment. Like it's one of those great really kind of meat shields. So
yeah, it's really strong. I haven't seen Astra play much Beastmaster as well. So this Beastmaster is probably the flex instead of the Tide. OD has been taken out. It's probably just safe for this Beastmaster role. It's also really good against Tidehunter. Queen of Pain taken out and Kunkka. So none of the spirits has been touched at all. Batrider has been banned. That's interesting. Mid Batrider. I guess that's they're doing some homework. I don't know how much mid Batrider Cuckoo is playing. But there's the Void Spirit. Oof. They can do Storm Spirit on the side of Punx now. Fyco has played it before and there's very little stun apart from like Ice Path and Lift. I guess Mars Spear as well, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't tell you how many times I've seen Mars try to pick up a Yules to deal with the Storm Spirit, to try and connect with a Yules into... But it's hard. It's just like... It sounds like it's easy, but under pressure it's very difficult.
They should move this beast to a support role and then pick Storm middle. Then you have Fyco having a good lane, like we said Punx once. This Beastmaster has thrown me a curveball, man. I'm not... Drow middle, Beastmaster safe lane? I don't know. What did they ban last? They banned Kunkka and Queen of Pain, so they are still expecting the mid to come out. But then why not just ban Storm if you're still expecting them to... There's very little to deal with Storm Spirit. I can't see why they wouldn't pick it. It's also a hero that can actually kill Lifestealer because Orchid early on, just zap onto him, like with a +1, the Orchid, the pull, does quite a bit of damage to the Lifestealer.
The other problem was that I think you missed this because the bans have been targeted towards a lot of melee heroes, right? Like, mid heroes. I was looking at Monkey when I was saying that, but like you have these heroes that can go mid that are being banned out, so there's less in the equation. And let's be honest, like every draft in the world, with their salt, always just begs certain questions, and one of them is this a free Storm game? And I mean, I tend to agree with you. Just Jakiro is not very good against him. Lifestealer is fairly awful against him. Void Spirit can be effective when he gets, silence on his... But he still needs a setup. Yeah. No, granted, yeah.
So, they're taking their time with this pick. I guess they kind of also deciding if they wanted to move this Beastmaster.
Are there alternatives you can think of? Like, if they're not going Storm, like maybe something else that's just raising its hand as well here?
Dragon Knight, if they still need a mid. Otherwise, this Drow could also go middle, and they do like a safe lane Beastmaster strat and push, which is pretty weird. And then Venge would be pretty good. Drow Venge, always a nice to have in your game. But
Beastmaster as well, it doesn't suck.
yeah, lots of auras, lots of bonus damage, bonus attack speed. But Necro foes, I don't like that. That slows down their draft a lot. You've got like these push, like a mini pushing strat going with the Beastmaster. Offlane Beastmaster support Tide.
Okay. I mean, they do have tanky heroes, so I mean, maybe that's why they're thinking the Necro. But I will say this, Mitchell, Necro can be a absolute game-winning hero, right? This thing, when it gets ahead of you, you can really suffer against it because you try to gang into it. It kills something, and it just gets back to full HP, full life, and you just.
There's also no like insta heavy burst from the side of DUC apart from Void Spirit once he has Ags on the mid game. But like he's still gonna need a +1 if the Nether form, the Ghost Shroud from Necrophos comes out. I don't think it's gonna be enough if he rushes a hood. So very interesting response by Punx.
Maybe he's gonna have a good game though.
I would have liked the Storm a bit more because FICO is, like I said, they playmaker. And how do you make plays with Necro though?
Well, I want to say that Nemi is going to be happy about this. There's so many tanky heroes in the game, and the only real mobile hero that's going to get on top of him is the Void Spirit. But even that is scary when there's things that can just lay into you on your team, like the Beastmaster just tossing out a Primal Roar and then Mortimer.
Yeah, it's also
nothing
like,
but netting you.
It's always fun to play Drow when the enemy team has like 2 backline supports and not like 1 support running at your face. So having a Jakiro plus a Rubik, both of them kind of want to stay in the back. Jakiro wants to get his spells off, and Rubik wants to look for those steals. But there's quite a few things Rubik can steal here. Like he can steal Reaper Scythe, like all Snapfire spells is pretty good. Like Beastmaster, if you get everything probably except Whirling Axes is amazing. Whirling Axe is not bad, but like rather have the Boar, the Hawk, or like the ulti, but quite a few things he can steal here. So if FSM can get good steals and then they can create that into pressure, I think I like DUC's draft a little bit more here.
Okay, well, sets up for an interesting game 1, and I'm just taking a look at items to see if I can see any kind of indication of like.
Honestly, I'm really impressed.
What they're up to. But look, I think that again, I think Drow is going to have a good time, and they do have good answers to the Life Sealer. I think Necro, obviously the Ghost Shroud is pretty strong against him. They have the Primal Roll to go through his rage, and in a way, I guess if Jace can kind of get himself into a position where he's just a little bit tankier than your regular Tide in this support role, it would be pretty good. I mean, I think one thing he's almost lucky about is the fact he's playing up against a Titan, so there's less value in him going for like a tanky item like an Agnum Scepter. So he can go for something like a medallion early, or just just bulk up on that anti-armor that is going to help them out against the Life Sealer. So I mean, I don't know. Punk's got a very interesting draft. I think it's going to just be interesting to see how this works out. There's going to be big question marks about this Beastmaster. And in a way, I almost feel like one of them shouldn't be here. I actually just think if one of these heroes weren't here, that their draft would just be outright better.
Yeah, but if this wasn't a Necro pick, and like we said, we called the Storm. If they picked Storm here, then we would have been having a completely different discussion. Then we would have been like, well, the Tidehunter is fine as a 5 because your Storm is now your jump hero. What does Punx now have to like kind of catch people? Beastmaster is going to have to like get quite an early blink dagger, and that's your play. Like you need to be cookie playing and Primal Raw, and that's how you're going to like start your fights. If there was a Storm Spirit, you can always like pick off a support or something, and then I think then we would have said like this draft's pretty okay. But Jace might on the Tidehunters, his job is probably just stay with Drow. In the team fights, if any of these heroes ever get close to her, then I Ravage. We've got other spells to fight with. Like my job is to use Ravage to protect him. And it's a pretty big spell to protect someone.
I mean, that is one way to. I think my only problem with that is if you have like an infested. I know you prefer the Life Stealer Infest being used more as an escape and re-engagement tool, but if you do have, you could use this in the Void Spirit to get on top of the Drow at least situationally.
You can do that. The only thing is I really like it if you use it as a secondary life, not just because it saves the life stealer, it also saves the person that you're climbing into. Like max level 1,200 extra HP is not something to scoff at. It's a lot of HP. If you climb into Jakiro because they're ganking him, your Jakiro suddenly has 3,000 HP and he gets 2 or 3 more spells off, and that allows the life stealer to actually like turn the fight. So it's not just about life stealer surviving. It can turn a team fight because you can keep a hero alive longer than it should stay alive, and then that catches the enemy off guard.
So interesting thing, by the way, this sentry ward that's been placed by Cuckoo in the mid is actually it's gonna get denied or killed. So there's even greater opportunity for Psycho to just find himself further ahead. But he's killing it at the moment. 8-3 versus the 4-1.
Yeah. So Cuckoo needs to get like some form of regen in this lane. He is going for the bottle. But like I'm still a firm believer of like Ring of Regens. They're pretty cheap against heroes like Viper and Necrophos with Heartstopper. Like Heartstopper does 0.6 HP per second. Like he's got 700 max HP. So Heartstopper is tickling like 1 or 2 damage a tick, and if you have 2 rings of regen, it just cancels it out completely. Like it doesn't even do damage to you.
Let's see mid lane again. Vico just being very, very aggressive, but it's the Rubik is really suffering at the moment. FSM quite a bit of damage in the top lane. He's okay though, but it looks like they're losing the war of nutrition here in the top lane.
Cuckoo does have a stick though, which is good against his Necrophos, because he does CS with his spells. Death Pulse is probably his range creep securing spell. And he's got the stick ready, so it's already 6 stick charges. Once that hits 10, he's probably gonna pop it. Pretty passive lanes at the moment. This top lane's been shoved in. How is the CS on the... It's just Necro. Everyone else is kind of like on the same terms. Beastmaster, Drow, same amount of CS. Mars, like blast hitting pretty similar to Beastmaster. No real significant damage monsters yet.
But the damage onto this mid Void Spirit, this is the real problem. You can see the way Fico is playing. He's just so aggressive. He's just sitting on... He's the melee hero now. It's up to his officer number to kind of tag in and out, but this is just being an extreme free farm for this Necro. I mean, we spoke about it in the draft, how if this hero does get ahead, it can be a real nightmare to deal with, but right now, it could be even worse than anticipated.
Yeah, so Fico needs to get additional levels into the Simulate and the Resonant Pulse, and just shove out this lane. Like, it's...
oh, is he? Oh. No, I saw his HP just drop big there, but he does have magic 1 charges and heals.
Rings of Regen looks pretty good right now, doesn't it?
Yep. I mean, he's not going to have an opportunity to use all his mana at this rate. He's just being blown up. This does mean they're going to have to take some sort of early rotation. I'm interested to see when it happens. He's going to pull back Vico towards the tower, so it does get a little bit of extra damage off. But again, he's just going to keep healing himself up, keep putting pressure onto this Void Spirit.
Yeah, it's really annoying. Like, he can't really... Oh, top lane, there's a little bit of chase.
Yeah, FS7 Jace. Yeah, he's looking for it. Come at me, he says. But Jace is all too wise. There's definitely a man who's been clipped before.
Oh, well, he baited the sentry there. Like, it looked like he warded there, and then he got Jace to react by putting a sentry down there.
Actually, Jace could be first blood here. He's going to be fortunate enough to get around. In fact, I think that was a little bit of big brain plays. He ate the tree in front of him so that Mars would skewer or spear him away from them instead of onto the tree line. So pretty good play there. I'm going to give him the credit that I know he was just ate a tango, not... but that was good,
It could be one or the other.
It could be one or the other, right? We're
Because he was quite low. He might have wanted some regen.
Bottom lane, they're going to go in on the Legend Jakiro. However, Crimson Tide wants to turn this around. This could be enough, though. The damage is good. The Blue Monkey will go down first. Astra backs off now. Got his ball, dealing with Legend at the moment, but the Void Spirit and the Jakiro low. In fact, the Void down. Astra still playing around with Crimson Tide. Legend wants to get back in on this. Liquid Fire down. He's going to use the Rage. They want to finish the job. Astra going to TP out. TP back to his tower. It does have a healing soul, so that'll be A. Okay. He's not dead. But you know who is dead? This Void is dead forever, man. This is the power of Reaper's Sight, though. Like, this doesn't seem reasonable.
That's annoying. That's the most annoying spell in Dota. There's nothing worse in a 5-minute game being dead for 40 seconds. And Necro is a hero, especially from the mid lane. If you get this kill, it is devastating because the amount of XP that he generates, level 7 to level 5. Now.
Yeah,
Like,
this is
full
pretty
level.
much done.
Chikiro doesn't go down, bottom.
Yeah. So they managed to get something extra Punx, but this mid lane is the real problem. Top lane, however, Jace, who's caught up by the Fable, he's body blocking Muffin Man, who's turning his attention back towards Nemi, will spear him up against the tree line as well. FSM trying to help out. A lot of damage onto Muffin Man, but FSM helps out with telekinesis to get around the multi-shot, and Nemi still alive for the time being. Muffin Man actually goes down. Beautiful little work there from Gus and the Anchors managed to come out. And FSM now in a little bit of trouble here. Doesn't have Fade Bolt available to him, and of course Nemi, one Frost Arrow is all he needs to make sure this kill actually happens. FSM on the tower takes an Anchor Smash, and it should be enough. Oh, I stand corrected. I am a filthy liar, because Fairy Fire will save FSM's life.
Very interesting skill build by Snapfire. Nibbling Monkey, 2 levels of Cookie. If you're going for the nuke build, isn't like Scatter Blast just better? Like, it's an extra 10 damage. For less mana
On a
as
better
well.
cooldown, yeah. I mean, the stun is improved though, to be fair.
But they just do they need the stun with the Beastmaster slows? There we go.
Well, there's that stun, but it's not going to do too much. Nibbling Monkey, in fact, in a little bit of trouble. Crimson Tide wants to turn this one around on him. Gonna juke around the tree lines. Does have some boars and some wildlife helping him out. So Legend comes in, gets the ice spot down, but he's getting hurt by those boars. Has to back off. Crimson Tide actually could be in a little bit of trouble here if he's not careful. He's got 2 boars on him. Doing quite a fair amount of damage. Legend is trying to help out, tosses out the dual breath from the back lines. Astra running towards the tree line. Crimson doesn't care. He's just running through the damage. Astra doesn't like this, but he is so tanky. Surely that... No, he's not actually going to do this, right? He's going to give up. Surely, yes. Okay, gives up underneath the tower, but he really hurt them. He really, really hurt them.
That is like... It's such a weird series of events. Like, Jakiro Lifestealer, the damage is so slow at the moment, and it's just... Okay, I'm gonna keep punching him.
Oh, sorry, top lane Jace getting pulled back towards the tower. Doing quite a bit of damage from FSM. They don't have the telekinesis, they do have the Fade Bolt. That goes down, really hurts Jace. He's able to scamper away to the tree line. And Muffin Man's gonna give this one up, but at the very least, get some damage out onto the Tide. Nemi, nowhere near. He's farming the jungle at the moment, means that they would love to bring down Jace. They can't let this man operate like an off-lane Tide Hunter. Fyko in the mid lane takes a little bit of damage from Cuckoo. He's gonna get support coming in from the Snapfire as well. In fact, Nibbling, he wants to take this one by the looks of things, does have a little bit extra damage coming out from the Shredder.
Oh, this is horrible for Cuckoo. Like, another rune is top as well. Everything's going Fyko's way. Hellbird, he's got 84 CS, my man.
He's got a sacred relic on that.
He's got 84 CS.
He's gonna have...
He's got more than 10 CS a minute.
Yeah, if this keeps up, he's actually gonna have a very... Like, the timing on his Radiance is gonna be ridiculous. If he gets a kill here, this will be actually damning. And they're gonna go back on him. Psycho in a little bit of trouble, but he stands his ground, he turns back into this one, he's being hurt. Legend's even there. Finally they bring on, they realize that man needed to die. He even thought about going back in on FSM, and that's the threat, right? Is if he does manage to pull off the Reaper's Scythe kill onto FSM, all of a sudden he's full HP again, just back to farming.
But that's also because he's going the build that he's going. Like, he bought the Sacred Relic. Like, most Necrophoses would have had boots and a hood by now. And I do, like, but he's rushing this Radiance. And with not having that Hood of Defiance definitely makes him killable.
Yeah, we've seen this before as well, where people opt to go for like the really flashy big item, and it doesn't pay off. I remember us casting, I think like, you and I cast a Kunkka, you did something very similar. Yeah. I think he also went for a Radiance, ironically, and we were talking the rest of the game was, why didn't he go on?
I can remember who that was. It was Precious Petunia.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So, I mean, maybe they can punish it. A couple of kills can actually be a big deal. Fyko again in trouble. And of course, Cuckoo, he's got high net worth on him at the moment because that damage, that flat damage is doing nothing when you're running with your tail between your legs.
He definitely needed a hood. Like, he needed a hood. Like, he's running against his Void Spirit, and he's just... These 2 kills have gotten Cuckoo back in the game. Like, that is... Like, Fyko's still extremely farm, but that was 2 big kills for Cuckoo, and he's gotten the levels now. Like, he's level 8. Like,
I think if you kill him again now, like directly now, you've pretty much offset that huge advantage he has. Because 5k at 10 minutes is still really good, right? But if it's 5k at 11 minutes, which they can make happen by another kill onto this Necro.
And he has to walk to a lane now, and he doesn't have boots. He doesn't have boots.
All that good work is done. And take a look at the bot. We'll take a look at top lane. Thanks, Notahero. It's Jace in trouble here. Pinned up against the arena. They're trying to run him down. Does have a couple of Axe Smashes available to him. There should be another Fade Bolt if they want it. They're not going to need it. In comes Cuckoo. He finishes the job instead. So Cuckoo has had a second life in this game. He got destroyed mid. Yet, if you take a look at the scoreboard for a second, it looks a lot more flattering than it could be. 1-1-2 could have so easily just been a neutral creep by this stage.
And I really like what Cuckoo is doing here. Look what he's queued up. He's actually queued up a Spirit Vessel. So they see this Necrophos is going. They've seen the relic. So they know there's not going to be a Hood of Defiance or Guardian Greaves or anything like that survivability, which Necros does need because.
So bottom lane, they're going to catch out the snakes, and of course they even commit the Ravage to it. Nice pick off, nice kill. Never had a chance to move. Did come at the expense of a lot of ultis though. Now check this out. Smoke responds immediately from DUC, and they're gonna find the big man, and he is just shy of that Radiance again. This is such a massive kill. They bring down Psycho, and yes, they lose their big man, but the fact that they've delayed this Radiance even further, this is starting to look slow, man. I mean, 40 minutes naked Radiance would be pretty game losing, to be perfectly honest, and it's already up to 11.5 minutes. Bottom lane, however, Legend being run down at the moment. Jace caught up by the Ice, by the Astra. Also, this round is going to slice him out, finish the job.
It's so weird because you can see he lined up for the Null Talismans. He's got the I'm talking about FICO. He's got the Circlet. He's got the Mantle of Intelligence. He was ready to go like standard bull. Like he even had it queued up. I looked at his item choice when he started the lane. He wanted double Null Tallies and then a Hood of Defiance. And then he was kind of debated by how good of a start he had. And now he's got nothing at 12 minutes into the game. He's committing for this Radiance though, but I guess you have to now. You've got this relic.
It is a... I mean, he's gotten it. But think about how this almost felt like it was going to be like, not quite a sub 10, but like kind of a 10-minute Radiance. And it's been delayed by a full 2 minutes. That's a big deal. And it's allowed Lifesteal to catch up. And again, the amazing start that he had and the space he's been given now to finish the job does mean he's still definitely the most farmed hero in the game. But instead of this being an GG you win moment, there's a lot of work to be done. Muffin Man catches out a nice read onto 2. He's going to pin up Jace against the tree line. Nibbling Monkey also stuck inside. They want to try at the very least get something out of the deal, but the Ice Path comes down. He will manage to find, I think it was an Observer Ward in fact.
Yeah, but he lost his career because
he lost his career as well. Psycho mid lane, Cuckoo back in on him. Got that Urn charge down. In comes Devin in the back line. They toss out the Reaper's Psycho. That's enough damage to finish the job. Psycho will fall though, so it is a reasonable trade. Legend being eaten up by Mortimer. The kisses going through do go wide in the end, but Legend takes a little bit of a pounding there. They pick up 2 for 1. More importantly though, they bring down the fattest hero on the map. Again, Duck, they just seem to have the right answers, the movement that Punx are making at the moment.
Yeah, and there was also not a Reaper Scythe kill, so not dead for 60 seconds. Like, just standardized 30-second death timer.
You must be so happy.
Yeah, like
that. It's like when you die and just, oh thank goodness.
Yeah, you're like, oh god, I wasn't Reaper Scythed, okay.
I've died, but I've only died. I haven't had my life ruined, so there's that.
Yeah, like I cannot go make coffee right now. It's Mom, put on the kettle. I've been Reaper Scythed.
You know, depending how good your kettle is and how far your kitchen is, I think you could do it. I think you could actually do it. Like even a level 6, you know, Reaper Scythe. Just go make yourself some coffee.
So I'd ask one of the admins the moment someone dies with Reaper Scythe to see if they can
we
make
play for big stakes here. We'll ask the dead player. Primal Roar comes onto Legend. A little bit expensive, and they might not quite get the kill. Inside still keeping him alive. They try and keep Legend up. They're really committing to try and keep up the Shakiro, but they've overcommit Jace instead, and Jace likely falls down here. Those are Mortimer blobs, and they're doing a lot of work. However, Cuckoo's caught up with the silence. Then they go back in, they have the little shred down. Cuckoo, a lot of slows, a lot of damage, and Astra will make sure they finish the job. However, big old hold. In comes Muffin Man. Ravage from the backline will hold out, but they do get a decent amount of damage done onto Punx, but they're backing off right now. FSN in trouble. Wants to get away from Fire. Does have the telekinesis to toss him back towards his own tower.
Whew, back and forth. Losing Void Spirit plus Jakiro, but then they traded it for Drow plus the Snapfire. So still a good reaction by Duck there. That arena by Muffin Man was pretty. It was pinpoint. It was on target. And losing Cuckoo there is a little bit unfortunate, but he's kind of doing his job. Like Necrophos didn't get a Reaper Scythe kill there. It's back off CD now. So he finally got boots on this Necrophos. So we'll see how he utilizes this. And like I said, but I don't think this is an impact. Like Radiance, Brown Boost, Necrophos 50 minutes into the game. you still need to now run at people, and you're pretty slow. 325 movement speed.
Honestly, can you imagine something like a mech here? Or like just anything that just like provides sustainability to your team fight? Like he could just literally be running them down, they wouldn't have the damage to deal with them. They barely have the damage right now to deal with them. Imagine what it would have been like. I totally agree. It's cute, it's exciting, but it's just probably not the best player.
Maybe it pays off.
I think he's having a phenomenal game. I just think he could have been having a better game. That's the honest truth. I mean, his net worth is still crazy. He's still sitting almost at 8k. And maybe that's his thought, is that,
I remember these items back up again.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, with all the TP boots, yeah, they go back and the Magpie is down as well. Little Monkey does manage to get away from the Ice Blast with a nice timed cookie, and they get the Storm Reaper kill. And now Psycho takes a lot of damage, but they're trying to go back in. Jace on the back line of that arena wants to try to help out, but he doesn't have a Ravage available to him. Nothing Man will go down there. Nibbly Monkey started this. He's still alive, tossing through Mortimer. Nemi goes back in, gets the Frost Arrow connection onto Crimson Tide. The multi-shots there as well, they're going to bring them down. 3 for nothing, 2 very low, but those 2 heroes that are very low were, honestly, the reason that they were able to take the fight, because DUC just saw red, and man, did they get punished for it.
Yeah, it was a very strange commitment by Muffin Man though. Like, he hit the arena on the Necrophos, but Necrophos just got a kill on this Void Spirit, so the region is amped. And then he runs past Necrophos to try and kill the Snapfire, which is not a high priority target, let's be fair. And just, they end up losing all their cores. All 3 cores went down.
Honestly, looking at the fight recap as well, you can see that that is a big XP change, big gold swing as well. This might be one of those moments where this game is really tight. We look back and say, if they had not had that moment, DUC going to win. Because Punx, I think they were struggling there. I mean, they were on Dota terms, like they had slight leads and such, but the momentum of the game didn't look like it was going their way. DUC looked like they were doing better. It was pretty much them playing off the back of how well this Necro is doing. But now, well, he's got that hood up, Notahero. He's going to have that phase boot, so maybe travel. Maybe he goes for travel instead now. But point is, he's now looking a lot more like Necros are supposed to look.
Yeah, well, actually still pretty scary. Like, Radiance hood, like, Nullifier, like, sub 17 minutes is pretty insane. So, that's still a very, very, very flopped Necrophos.
Yeah, he's going to have a big impact now. Looks like he's going for the Lotus Orb next.
Cuckoo is, like, I said I like the Spirit Vessel build, and I still do. But it's much less significant now that the hood is up on the Necro, and also that he doesn't have any charges on it. So, he's got it now. So they need to get a sub kill, like, before they can even commit to this Necrophos. Look at Fico, he doesn't care, like, he knows he's tanky now.
Stop, guys, I got a DD behind me. I'm happy to take this fight on, and the question is, do Duck take the challenge? They will drop down the Magpie. There's a lot of damage down. In comes Jace with the Ravage. Gonna hit onto 2, damage is good onto Legend. Should be able to finish him off, and they do. They're gonna hold on to their Reaper side. If they go there, they're trying to finish it off. They're gonna hit him up in the tree line. But here he goes. Look at that regen kick in. Wolf Flyco even fall here. He's able to limp around, gets the Ghost Shroud out. Cookie's back in, and hold on. This fight's not over just yet. Another Reaper side. This time again, claiming the life of a core, and Flyco stands tall.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Difference that hood makes. He just ran into 3 heroes by himself. Stayed alive long enough for his team to react. Oh, they spotted Crimson. He's in trouble. He's gonna silence.
Yeah, they
managed
to get him into Rock Garden, but they are destroying him. Crimson still in a bit of trouble here. They're trying to reach him, but he is able to get away. Obviously with DD up on Nemi, this means they're going to lose their stack as well. Punx look like this game might just be theirs at this point.
I think they're going to Roche.
Why not? They have a Zoo. They have a DD on their Drow. Okay, well they have one hit on the Drow, but
no Mars Arena, Master down for 20 seconds. This is their big team fight hero. Even if Legend gets here with the hero, also doesn't have multi, so 9 seconds. But yeah, this is gone.
Yeah, Roshan falls pretty quickly. That's a massive problem because Fico. How do you deal with this now? I mean, he's actually got such good items for this. He's got the Essence ring up. He's got obviously the Reigns to just reduce some of the physical damage coming out of the life of the Life Stealer when he doesn't have Rage up. And with this Aegis up, the chances of being involved in a kill is very, very likely.
The Duck's burst is running out because this Hood of Defiance is negating quite a bit of it. It's from the Void Spirit. And then Cuckoo is... He's got this Vessel, which I understand. But now he's queued up a Yule Scepter. They're not going to have much magic burst for a very, very long time. Duck is going to have to stall out this game.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think we've reached the point where trying to win this in a, the manner they were playing before was over. You can just take a look at the graphs at the moment. The decline since that moment that we spoke about, that fight with the last three, it's been pretty bad. Astra, he's going to face check this. Be able to clear him up against the arena. They have more than enough damage to deal with him. So they do find decent pickoff, but they have to do a lot more than that if they want to change the tides here.
DUC needs to rotate middle now and try and get this mid tower for map control, but all the heroes are still hovering top. So like both supports plus Mars are sitting top. They can see them bottom.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
the smoke up again. Let's see what they can do with this. See that Cuckoo is trying to get up onto Jace. Managed to steal something. What was it? Was the Death Pulse. Pretty handy, but FSM will have to use it from a defensive position. Jace with a 4-staff and Ravage up. He's happy to take a fight. You can see they're just stationing Spyco on the front lines, but they're actually trying to get on the back lines. They have found it, but they found Nemi. He's laying into Cuckoo. Manages to get away for the time being. Astral steps away, but caught up by the multi-shot. A beautiful re-engage by Muffin Man. This is doing some work. They have Mortimer on the back line trying to help up. It's to finish off the first Drow Ranger kill if they need to open this up. Jace in a little bit of trouble, being run down by Crimson Tide. They do manage to bring down the Mars. FSM is alive for the timing. Cuckoo still in. He's going to catch FICO, put him back towards his team. He's actually isolated. This is about as good as he can get for DUC, and they're going to be able to potentially bring down this Necro. He's getting support though. Astra back in the fray. He gets out the Primal Roar onto Crimson Tide. This is heartbreaking for DUC. The Punx going to smile all the way to the tier 2 most likely, because they bring down that lifesteal, and they still have this Aegis sitting on the Necrophos. People respawning as well. Timing actually favoring Punx at the moment. And again, they're going to start laying into this tier 2 tower. Can Cuckoo make something else? Does have the full spirit vessel. Tries to catch one out with the Aether Edge. Hasn't been able to do so. Legend and Co just poking away, trying to keep this tier 2 alive. Trying to get some damage out onto these dragons. Get the telekinesis up onto FICO. They're actually tossing him away. They don't want this fight. Looks like they're going to have to try settle for deny. But in they go. Going to try and commit to FICO for a little while longer. Cuckoo thinks better of it. Backs off, and then they do lose their tier 2 tower.
That was a lot of commitment with the core still bottom, just to let the tier 2 drop. I don't understand why they didn't just move heroes away from that lane. They knew it was going to go down. They were delaying it a little bit, but their lanes could have been shoved out by now. Like, if Cuckoo went middle and just shoved that lane out, let Rubik and then tinker around there at the bottom, try and delay it as much as possible, and put another hero in the top lane, like Jakiro, just to deep push it, then when their heroes now respawn, they would have been in a better position. But now they have to deep push their lanes. So it's kind of like slowed them down when there's no Ravage on the enemy team at the moment. Beastmaster Primal Roar just came off CD, but it's just they're unsure of why stay bottom, Hellbird. Why defend that tier 2? It's going down.
To me, it looked like they were trying to poke for a way in, but up against the Aegis, there's just no chance of happening. And it's getting even harder now. FICO's finished up the Lotus Orb as well. He's got something flying into him. It's a Sunja, so...
There's 2 heroes surrounding Crimson Tide top, but it's just the 2 supports. I don't think they can actually kill him if it's just the 2 of them.
That's very unlikely, but... Crimson going to keep farming. He's got himself up as Sunjin. Yeah, sure, full armlet, so he's still been pretty good. I mean, we haven't spoken too much about how well he's played because it's been the FICO damage show. He's been putting on the spectacle for us, but bear in mind, this is a farm lifestealer, and he's getting inside Muffin Man again by the looks of things. He wants to. Thinking about it.
He's going straight Nullifier now. Armlet, SNY, Nullifier. They need this if they want to kill this Necrophos. And then they can kill him. Like, very much so. If he doesn't have that Ghost Shroud to pop the wand with, it's just going to... Now again, like, all DUC's heroes are just hovering around this mid lane. Are they going to fight this? Or are they going to let the star drop?
Well, they've caught out Crimson, and he's trying to get into the tree line, help himself out, but he is in so much trouble. Does have the enrage. He might be able to get to Muffin Man. He does, and he blinks away. DUC. They might actually be able to turn this because they are locked and loaded here. They've given away their position at Punx. They know what's going on. Of course, a Lifestealer slowly but surely getting his HP back. He's ready to rumble. Let's see if Punx opt to take this. Cuckoo, he's interested. He's trying to get himself in position. They're smoked up as well. They're going to catch out a Nemi, Drow Ranger, and they bring him down for free. They get out the Ravage. Going to hit on a couple, so it is good. FSN looking to steal it for himself. The Reaper Scythe comes down. FICO running through the Magpie. He's hurting, but Mortimer also zoning. In fact, killing the Mars. Crimson, this time he doesn't have the infest. He's gonna be engaged on. The Black Dragon Cookie doesn't quite lash. Pyko, still interested though. He's trying to beam down onto this. He gets caught up by his own death though. He does have the Lotus Orb up on himself though. Crimson has to be respectful of this. He's backing up as well. He may not have Reaper's Sight, but he's still a massive threat.
This vessel by Void Spirit has now become a useless item because FICO just went straight Lotus Orb afterwards. If the Lotus is on him while Ghost Shroud is active, he just purges it. So this first additional item that Void Spirit went has been completely taken out of the game.
You can see Punx, they're happy to press this advantage at the moment. I think they agree with you, Notahero. They realize that they have a significant advantage coming out from their mid players. And they're going to keep pushing it towards the top lane. However, Crimson might be caught out here. They do drop an observer ward down, so you're going to see exactly what's going on. Doesn't look like they're going to want this one though. Roshan going to be in contention soon as well. It's minute 20 until he's back on the field.
I really think that DUC is going to have to stop playing a little bit of sacrificial land. These supports need to be shoving outside lanes. The cores are kind of doing it at the moment, and it's making them play on the back foot a lot. And if Jakiro or Rubik pushes out 2 lanes and then dies, your team is safe, and you still get the farm from the creeps you're taking out. So they need to start shoving outside lanes. Well, I guess it's fight time now because once again...
Oh, that was read so well by Muffin Man. He knew the cookie was coming and he followed that Snapfire beautifully and finds himself a nice neat kill.
But now what, Hellbird? No Snapfire. Ravage is back up in 30 seconds and they're not pressuring the lanes because the lanes aren't pushed out. Now Crimson is bottom pushing out the bot lane.
It does give them actually a pretty handy window with Snapfire. It's like full 30 seconds when Snapfire's going to be back alive. And they could potentially push the Generator before the arenas are. Now, one of the saving graces for DUC have definitely been their arenas, right? Like, this Muffin Man Mars has performed this match.
And he's been finding the drow every single fight.
Take that.
I mean, it's...
hitting him.
Nani's been bailed out, let's be honest. FICO really has been dealing all the damage they need, taking all the pressure that they need. He's been doing the job of 3 roles so far. This is the
second time I've seen Nemi go this icicle. Sorry, Hellbird. Like, he goes Hurricane Pike Blink, like full mobility, and I'm not sure I'm a fan of this. It just makes your Drow Ranger not be... She's not scary at the moment. It's 27 minutes into the game, he doesn't have a BKB yet. Like, it's a really... I don't know, it's the second time he done it. The first time they did it, like, it worked out pretty well, and like the mobility helped him and got him into the right positions. But if there's no damage, then it doesn't help him over. Oh, smoke up mid.
Punx, they want to take this. They're going to catch out Cuckoo in the mid lane. Is there any way to turn this one around? The Ravage is there. They actually look like they might be able to turn this. He's still primal and used on Titan. He might be able to steal again. No, doesn't have a cooldown. No ags up on him yet. I'm being far too observant. But in the end, they do get the kill that they were looking for. Void Spirit down for full 80 seconds. And I think that means Roshan is likely oh no, Roshan was unkind. Yeah.
That's not 2 minutes. They've counter smoked though. They're running at enemy bottom.
Well, this would be a very, very good pick-off for them. You see FSM on the front lines. They do also have the Mars and Legend stalking. Nemi goes into the tree line. Might show himself though. Starts himself out of the high ground. He's going to be okay, but guess what? Tidehunter Jace went onto FSM in the back line, and Pyco damage is coming to Hell Towers as well. They're going to try TP out of this one. They're not going to be able to shut him down. Oh, no! Astra came in, tried to finish the job with Wild Axes, but not enough damage for them. They're not going to commit for too much more for that kill. Jason Co. They're going to apply their minds now to this tower in the bottom lane. It is going down fast. In fact, forces a buyback. Muffin Man goes in, gets the double cookie, and in fact, the arena, but the cookie went backwards. Psycho, he's in trouble here. He's used up in the air to have the ice pot down top of him. He's just not dying. This man is still alive, and finally Crimson's able to get on top of him. He will finish the job. Now Jace backing off. Crimson wants to finish him off and does. Nibbling, you're up next, buddy. He managed to go the right way, and the ice path will miss, which means Crimson is not going to get any more out of it. But that is a huge fight for DUC because they've kept their tier 3 alive, and it's a bit of a show of force, to be perfectly honest. Punks have to respect that. They picked that, and it didn't go well for them.
Yeah, that nullifier reveal, I think he just picked it up, and that's how he showed it. Massive pickup, allows him to kill the Necrophos. That Yules, though, was by Cuckoo. Don't you think that almost saved them?
I mean, I don't know if he was trying to stop the regen or what was going on, but he was admittedly he was regening a lot. I think it was the kill on the Mars that started making it very hard to kill. So might have been something like that. I'm not sure what the thought process was, but ultimately the result is the same. Time for the Lifestealer to farm, and lots of time dead for this. Oh, they're still going mid. Yeah, they've caught out Cuckoo. Mortimer beaming down as well. Onto a lot of damage to the Legend. Trying to lift away from this one. They do Crimson Tide though. Astra in trouble. He's trying to get out. The multi-shot is there, but it doesn't matter. He's Crimson Tide Lifestealer. He's going to back off though. He's satisfied. We've taken another one of your cores down.
Man, and Roche now.
Looking a little bit better for DUC.
Are they checking Roche? They should check Roche.
And surely someone's going to check
That's
Roche.
exactly
Legend,
what-
you've been playing this game for so long. Get in there.
Yeah, there is.
Attaboy.
But that's exactly what we spoke about. That was 1,200 additional health on... Did you see the Roche?
He saw the Roche. He walked in.
Why are they not taking the Roche?
I'm not 100% sure if I'm totally honest with you. Maybe they don't like...
Mars is bottom, but he's got a TP.
Well, Punx think it's Roche time, and they're stationing their Ancient Thunder Hide inside the Roche pit. And, no, like this? No, then doesn't look like they're going to go for it. Yeah, they're going to go back in. Void Spirit in a little bit of trouble. They immediately ravage off the Ash Catch on FSM as well. This should be a nice clean kill. The power roll comes up from FSM, but it's not enough. So they're going to pick up 2. Legends scampering away now. And of course, this means that Roshan is in fact Punx's.
This Jules is really not like paid off for Cuckoo. Like, Jace just timed the ravage.
Have one
Who
less
just-
enemy now.
Legend? What happened, buddy? I didn't even see that.
Well, Drow with Force Staffer or Hurricane Pike and Blink just ran him down.
In fact, Punx, they're happy to go for the end here. There's a buyback on the Lifestealer and the Tide. Those are the only 2 in the game at the moment. So 90 seconds without the Void Spirit, 20 seconds without the Rubik, and 30 without Legends Jakiro. They're going to go straight onto this tier 3, and it doesn't stand a chance. They are burning through this. Oh my. Are they going for the end? No, Jay's just messing with us here. Or is he?
No.
Looks like they are in fact going for the end here. They think they can take this without the Void Spirit on. A lot of damage on these tier 4s. They've already brought down 1. Second one on its way down as well. This is trouble. Zafin Man goes in, gets the arena on 3. The BKB is there for Nemi, so he's not in trouble. They're going to lose the first one. Vico got the low sword up on himself, so he's surviving for now. But there might be alternatives around. Jace comes in, and they have the ice path down onto the Psycho, and they will bring down Jace. Vico still stands though. The rage is up for Crimson. Can he survive this outcomes of Gust? Is there enough damage? Yes, there is. But he does have buyback. He'll burn it immediately. Legend gets the ice path up, but it is 5-on-1. Crimson tried. I don't think the odds are in your favor. I think Punx are going to finish this one off here. And, well, there's unlikely any movement on the map that you can make to get through this. But he is going to go to Chris, and he tries to go to Astra. Astra able to get out of there. Crimson, well, he's dancing around, but right now he is most likely going to become a victim. Out comes the Cookie. Crimson's still there, fighting up against Jace. Cookie's back. Crimson? Is this one of those ridiculous stands? No, the base is still melting. Vico and Nemi having nothing of it. Whatever happens up there, it doesn't matter, because the Ancient is down. Punx. Whew. There were times where DUC looked good. Duck might have, I think, really thrown this one at that point in mid.
It was just like, I don't know, the Cuckoo constantly being caught by this Beastmaster roll into Scythe. Like, I think he got caught 3 times. And the one time that he did survive, he Yulesed himself and then he just got ravaged. So, Spirit Vessel into Yules on Void Spirit, really not allowing him to have any impact in this game. 2, 7, and 9. If you compare that to Punx's mid, 11, 5, and 11 Hellbird.
Yeah, I think, honestly, this almost played out like the way that I expect the series to annoy. There were moments where Duck had... They made some great calls. I loved how they just started tracking down that Necro the moment they saw that relic came out. They were like, "We're gonna punish you for this," and they really did.
Crimson was farming it was set up, but then it was just like there was a BKB on Mars, but I don't even know if he got the chance to use it.
I mean, yeah. To be perfectly honest, I don't think there was.
Did you see like Jakiro's items? Legend had a Glimmer Cape and an Ags. That was it. Like he had an Ags on the Pos 5 Jakiro. Like, I don't know. Like it could have been.
Excess damage. I'll give it that much, but
yeah, but it could have been like a Lotus Orb to like help Cuckoo not get roared and not get reapered and like I don't know. And FSM had Blink Aether Lens, which is pretty standard on a Rubik, but they had nothing to like support their team apart from the Glimmer Cape. And it showed. Like, Astro just jumps, roars, and basically team fights over.
Yeah. Well, I will say this much. We question the Necro as the final pick. I don't think I know what you're going to say. It doesn't mean the Storm wouldn't have been good, right? But the reality is that the Necro was still great. And I think they justified their pick one way or another because FICO looked like a monster on that hero. And
no, he was a monster. Like, he ran out 3 heroes by himself. They had this vessel. He built a load sword immediately afterwards. Okay, your vessel does nothing now. We've just taken one of your core's key items out of the game. And he was on point. Like, he knew what he needed to do. He saw the vessel, he itemized accordingly, not even feeling the need for a BKB because, like we said, there wasn't much burst on the side of DUC. But let's also give it to players like Nibbling Monkey. Like, every single fight, Mortimer's Kisses was on point. Jace just played a pos 5 Tidehunter, and his Ravagers were always threatening. So...
You know, honestly, I have to agree. Like, that Tidehunter performance, there was a time when he was just 4-staffing in before he had his blink, and he was just getting so much work done, getting great ultis. Obviously, I have a very good understanding of the hero and when and where to be with that kind of item. I think it's difficult because often you're so used to either being the tanky frontliner or you're blinking into counter initiate. You know, it's not really the case where you want to be this mid-range kind of Tidehunter. So you did a great job. In fact, it's hard to really criticize anyone from Punx, to be perfectly honest. Like, maybe his item build was...
He's making it work. It's the same, like, that bot lane, he would have probably died if he didn't have Blink and the Hurricane. It's a very, I'm not gonna say unorthodox, because I don't think it's unorthodox. Mobility on Drow is great, but it's delaying crucial items like BKB, and DUC just didn't punish it. I don't think they had the draft to punish it. But we saw him die in most arenas anyway, so...
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. I think maybe if you just gone BKB first, because here's the thing: is when I look at the damage dealt, he did 14,000 damage, which when you think about this being your one position with a steroid, in a winning game, it doesn't feel great.
And a hero that buffs you up. You've got Tidehunter for minus armor. You've got Snapfire for minus armor, and you're doing 14,000 damage. So,
but with this
item build is very defensive. Let me put that.
Yeah, and it's not like he's taking enormous amount of damage all of a sudden or something, or everything's just chasing him into the jungle and can never catch him. You know, so it wasn't a great. It didn't play out in a great way. Honestly, I think that should be a bit scary for DUC, if I'm totally honest with you, because Nemi he's got more than that in the tank. You know what I mean? I feel like that's not the Nemi you're going to see every game, or that kind of impact in the game. I don't think it's what you can expect. So you're gonna have to lift things up a bit. They need to deal with FICO. I think, unfortunately, you can't let this man just have a clean one-on-one right now against your mid. There's too much at stake. You have to try disrupt that middle, make sure it's as unpleasant as possible for the man, and try and play around that. Maybe creating pressure on him can create pressure on his teammates to try to pick up the slack or something like that. But who knows? At the moment, you know, anything. You gotta throw anything at it if you DUC. Your lives on the line right now.
Yeah, no, go back to the drawing board, like reevaluate your heroes, reevaluate how you're gonna move around the map and item choices. I just think, like, in a game like this Aghanims on Jakiro just screams out at me. Like, it could have been so many other things.
I mean, to be fair, he did a lot of damage. In fact, he did the most damage on his team.
Well, he had an Aghs, I would think so.
And Necropho is just trying desperately to, like, go Shroud away from the physical damage. He's like, yes. The casters notice my damage at the end of the game. In fact, I think he did the second most damage in the game. Yep, he did. Only FICO out-damaged him, but by a landslide. I think the problem as well with that performance is FICO also took such an enormous amount of damage. Like, considering he only died 5 times, he took 50,000 damage.
Yeah.
I mean... Yeah.
Okay, well, we had not even going into intermission and jumping straight back into game 2. The teams are ready to go.
Yep, we will be going live in the second draft in just a moment. And that means it's almost time. Yes, that's right, Notahero. But we'll just hang to... Not yet. You see, I'm on to you, dear chat. I've become aware of how you spam certain phrases, expecting that they'll be it, but not when I'm around. Maybe when Snare's taking up the hosting role, maybe then you can get by with just spamming EGL1 in the chat, but it's not going to work tonight. Tonight, it's something different, and I'm not telling you what it is. But I will tell you this: if you're watching in the stream, in fact, let me make sure that it's actually coming through because I know that sometimes it misbehaves. But anyways, if you're watching on the game client, if you're watching anywhere other but the Twitching, come through onto Twitch and make sure that you are in line to win a prize. Tonight it's a 250 Rand Steam voucher. I will tell you what the keyword is after the draft. But for now, let's enjoy. Notahero, they're going to ban out the DP as well as the Alchemist again, Night Stalker and Jug following up from DUC. And then surprise, surprise, it's your favorite watermelon back in the game.
Yeah, and it's a flex now for them because they just run it as a 5 and it worked for them. It had a lot of impact as a 5. Like most than like some position 5s in the game. So interesting pickup. They go for Snapfire and then they go back for this Mars. I guess they feel it's a comfort pick, and with the Snapfire it gives them a different dynamic, and it actually does give them some burst, which they were solely lacking the previous game. Shadow Demon. Quick drafting going on here, Hellbird.
Yeah, that was predetermined, right? Like they didn't care what was coming out. It was like we're picking Shadow Demon now.
Yeah. If we can't get Snapfire, we're picking Shadow Demon.
What is what's the thought process behind it?
It's a save against Mars, so whoever gets pinned against the arena wall can always just get balled. So it's a save. It's a strong laning hero at the moment. I think Shadow Demon is extremely strong at the moment, and also Soul Catcher against strength heroes, massively strong. Like it's so good. And Snapfire, Mars, both strength cores at the not cores but heroes at the moment. Is there any like isn't Punx also the team that runs Mirana for nibbling?
Honestly, you have me at a loss. I'm not
a bit of Potom plus Shadow Demon.
I mean, that is, oh man, like, you know what's gonna happen then, right? Somehow we're gonna just be like playing in the game, like, oh, I didn't expect this. I mean, that was the age-old, like, I remember when you had tri-lanes, back, it was exclusive tri-lanes.
Pain Mirana or Pain Shadow Demon.
Yeah, pretty much exclusively. And you'd always pick it into Windrunner. I remember that. It was like the, sorry, Wind Ranger.
10 seconds.
Anyways.
Back then it was Windrunner, so you forgive him.
Yeah. Anyways, so let's this isn't. I'm interested. The Shadow Demon has really made me quite curious about how this draft's going to develop. But
interesting to see what Punx is doing. They're banning out Lifestealer and Ursa, which Shadow Demon is usually the go-to support for. So yeah, they kind of still feel that I want to play against this Lifestealer because Crimson, even though the game was going south, still had a pretty good game last time. And Duck likes to run Ursa quite a bit, but I think Shadow Demon deals with those, so still getting them out. So probably just using the Shadow Demon for a different purpose, like you said, maybe it's Mirana. We've even seen, I remember Bravado Gaming used to run Shadow Demon Clockwork and then Invoker in the mid lane with Sunstrike, and you just like disrupt someone into cogs and then they would get Sunstriked.
Yeah,
like, it was silly things.
10 seconds remaining.
We'll see what comes out. A Dying band, Beastmaster band, Monkey King band,
5 seconds
Hyper.
remaining.
And then we spoke about this Ursa and Lifestealer. Like, very similar bans to the first game, apart from this Lifestealer ban. They did take out Ursa in the first game on the side of Punx as well, and then Viper. There's the Vengeful Spirit. This is a hero that I really thought we were going to see more of than I've seen. The Ags build on Venge is very interesting, and I just don't like it as a pos 5, because you want to get that Ags. Like, as a 4, a 3, or even a mid, I think it's very viable, but as a 5, well, I'm saying this, but Legend had Ags the last game, so
5 seconds
maybe he just mimics it again, and this time it's a great pickup.
You see, literally, Legend selling one of his skills so he can get an Agnum set. To be like, why is there no command aura in this Vengeful Spirit?
Yeah, no, it's sold. It's gone.
But he does have an axe, though. Anyways.
Stop saying things like that.
I do want to point out.
I think you can sell your abilities.
This does of course leave an interesting thing open as well. They have a lot of anti-armor here, so Vengeful Spirit and Snapfire are both giving you a lot of anti-armor, so they can certainly play around that. Maybe we'll see a big physical core coming in now. I do think that I would love to see for the next few picks personally. If something that really just chows damage, like maybe even a Dry Range. I don't think it would be terrible. We've seen it now, be used at the very least. And then something does some sort of hybrid damage, maybe.
Duck can definitely take Drow, yeah. Like Venge Drow, and you've got Mars Snapfire. Like that's a, and it's, Crimson Tide begged me through the entire 2018, every single game, give me Drow, give me Drow, give me Drow. So
did you give him Drow?
One game.
5
Okay.
seconds remaining.
You're a kind god.
Dire
So I'm
team
not sure if he's gonna. Drow looks even better now. Like it's pretty okay against the Ember Spirits. They can always like if you go Hurricane Pike early, he's also a silence against them. They can also push Razor away from fights. It's a weird Razor game.
Yeah, it's
There's a lot of repositioning spells like
10
yeah, that's a fair
seconds
point. I
Swap.
mean,
Spear,
even Cookie can break it at max range.
yeah,
5
Cookie.
seconds remaining.
So
And there's nothing that it's good. This is so weird, right? Because sorry, another point is that like you know who Razor is generally good against? Melee cores, who Shadow Demon is good against, of which they've banned out 2. Maybe that's the thought process. Maybe they're trying to force DUC into playing a ranged hero for a reason, or almost baiting them into having a
this could
range.
also like just be like safe lane Razor, and it lanes well against the Mars. So I don't know, because where else are you gonna put it? Off lane Razor, and then run the Tide again as a support. This is a safe lane Razor. I don't know if I like that. I say this, and then Arteezy has been doing it for years and years and years, but it's a very interesting pickup. You can see Duck is really thinking about this next pick because this Razor has kind of thrown a curveball into the mix now.
Yeah. To me, I feel like this is bait. Like I feel like something's on. Like Punx are up to.
Pause 5 Razor, let's go.
Remember, we've seen POS 5 anti-mages, so you know nothing is impossible in the world of Dota 2.
Pause 5 anti-mage. That sounds better than Lion.
Radiant team.
Oh, come on.
Phantom
Phantom
Assassin.
Assassin.
I don't.
I'm really surprised by this because this is almost the bait I was worried about. Was maybe they wanted to play a particular, you know.
This is a weird pick because Tide lanes really well against
Dire
PA.
team ban.
Like really well.
Yeah.
And then they've got a Razor as well, which completely just like I said. I guess if PA ever gets linked, bench just swaps her. So
I will say this much as well. We spoke about the fact that they would be good at, you know, like you know what would be great actually is if this is like a
10
Deso
seconds
PA and an AC Mars, because then like I know this is like just quadrupling down on
5
your
seconds remaining.
anti armor, but the reality is that these aren't particularly strong heroes in the form of like standing up to
Radiant
physical aggression.
team
Like
ban.
Tide, yes, he's a tank hero by nature, but none of these heroes really like extreme anti-armor. So from that side, DUC have something going, and then they have the hero that naturally
there-
rolls anti-armor and also deals
is
an
there-
godly amount of physical damage.
is there any hero that likes anti-armor?
Dire team ban.
Puck.
'Cause you-
Puck doesn't care.
Okay, so Puck is the one hero in this entire game that doesn't mind if his armor is reduced.
Techies.
I don't know, I think Techies cares.
Let's be honest. Techies blowing himself up too much to care. But anyways,
10
let's get. They're gonna
seconds
ban out
remaining.
2 of the elements here. They're gonna get rid of the Void Spirit and the Storm Spirit,
5
and
seconds
Duck bring
remaining.
down the Drow themselves.
Yeah, so they're expecting this Tide to probably go pos 5 again, and then they expecting Razor to go offlane into this PA now. But they picked the PA into the Razor, so and I don't know if this draw ban was worth it. You don't have a Beastmaster this game to be frontline.
Yeah.
You have a Razor plus Tide, so they don't know. Draw ban and then Nix. So they're like, Legend, they've got their cores. Like, ban as supports. That's literally what his teammates are saying. Like, come on.
10 seconds remaining.
Interesting. And Duck has like last pick this game, so
5
should probably
seconds remaining.
have a better matchup for Cuckoo in that mid lane.
To be fair, we'll point out that the Tide was not a core last time around, so
I think you can do Shaker here. Shaker plus Tide is not a bad lane, and then they've got like
Dire
additional tools
team
to team
pick.
fight with. Grimstroke. Double Shadow Demon ulti, double Razor Link, I guess. Not an amazing Grim game.
I mean, it's a
Like-
high, but it's a lot of magical damage coming out from a support hero. To be fair,
Yeah, Inkspot
10
is good with
seconds
Ember Spirit
remaining.
as well, so maybe they're just kind of looking for something to help Ember kill
5
in the
seconds
early
remaining.
yeah,
game.
I'm okay with it. It's its own little buff, right? Like if Grimstroke has a lot, he can work around. A lot of heroes like having Grimstroke. In the
Fuck.
what,
Choose your
what a-
hero.
You know, speak of the devil and he will answer. I mean, not exactly how we're planning on using him, but it is almost like, I think,
That's a good pick.
exactly what I wanted out of DUC. I wanted a physical damage dealer and a hybrid damage dealer. So Cuckoo, obviously playing a hero that has more magic damage for sure, but it does kind of answer like pretty much all things. Gives him an extra disable, BKB penetrating disable at some point.
Yeah, it's also like you've got Dream Coil into Venge Swap, a lot of damage. Dream Coil into Mars Spear, a lot of damage. And then Dream Coil with Snapfire ulti, that's pretty good. And then you've got Snap plus the Mars as well. So they've got lots of team fights overlapping. So this is and then you've got the PA to kind of choose when he wants to join these fights.
Yeah. I must say, I actually kind of like this as well, as you mentioned, the repositioning that they have. So if you do get a good Dream Call, even without the Mars ulti or anything like that, you just spear something away, snap the coil, you know, you can swap them, snap the coil. In fact, even you can, I guess, on the edge, you could use Snapfires. Is this Shard that snaps, he's got the pushback? I can't remember.
Yeah, they'll have to be like on the edge.
Yeah, but I mean, theoretically, it's possible if the game goes late enough. So there's definitely enough to work with here for sure. So I quite like this. All right. But I'm gonna get in trouble if I don't do this. I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know if I feel like, you know, if this was a live show, I'd be doing the whole like, yeah, make some noise or something, because, you know, get the crowd interaction. But since I can't, fine, admin team, I'll tell them what the thing is. So again, if you're watching in game, please make your way over to the stream, because we want to give you free stuff. And the free stuff today is not the keyword that you thought it would be. Today, it's something totally different. Something you would never have expected. Something that I'm going to tell you in just a moment. After I stop dragging this out, and after this quick no, okay, I'm done.
Quick commercial break, and a note from our sponsors.
and of course, you know, hit subscribe, or I don't know. Anyways, so the word you're looking for is Dota 2 ZA. That's Dota numeral 2 ZA, one word. You do it all lowercase. Do not say it more than once. Only once. Dota 2 ZA, and you'll be able to win yourself. It's a 250 Rand Steam voucher, which is super cool. And of course, with we're you know, it's like Black November now, basically. So I'm sure there's gonna be great sales as well available. So that 250 Rand is gonna go a very long way on Steam this month. But Jace is gonna go a really long way, potentially, because he's caught out Legend. The slow him down with Stroke of Fate as well. And comes Nothing Man help him out. Legend, I don't think you're gonna survive this.
Oh, he turned! The Mars Spear might have saved him.
I mean, they were just going to follow up. They would have another Stroke of Fate available or something. He was doomed.
That was an insane amount of slow. Like Stroke of Fate, Gush, and then freaking Plasma Field by Razor. Like, just slow on top of slow on top of slow. Oof.
Yeah.
Well, is Dark gonna contest this?
Well, you can see that.
Are they gonna try and contest this?
There's an angry watermelon and co. They're very drawn first blood, so they're happy to go again. I mean, they don't lose as much, right? So they're gonna pick up 3 runes. Oh, it's gonna happen. Chase, you can do it, buddy. You can do it, little man. Even if you're little, you might be huge. All I know is you're gonna do the hugest of plays, and you know what that is? Oh no, I lied. I'm so sad.
I'm so confused.
I'm so sad. I thought I didn't.
That's so his side
sad.
of the map.
No, you don't understand. I thought they wouldn't get the 4 bounties, but Cuckoo stole one. Man, you know how rarely you see that?
You think Fico's gonna go Radiance?
Yes. Yes, I do. Like he's just gonna stack the Radiances. Depends how the lane goes.
Imagine that was a thing, Radiance stacking. You would definitely have some players doing that.
This is actually a hard lane for Puck, in my opinion. Because it's really hard to deal with high levels of Sleight of Fist with a low HP hero.
He needs to get armor as soon as possible, so he needs like the null tallies. But I've seen Castaway play this matchup, Puck versus Evesports, and it was actually against my team, and it did not go well because all he did was Hellbird. He did not skill phase shift. He would max Waning Rift and max Illusory Orb, and every time Flame Guard comes out, you just completely like destroy it in one spell, and then you've got additional follow-up.
Unfortunately for Cuckoo, he's gone for the phase shift, so that's not going to happen this time around.
Okay, well.
And now we go back to me being worried about this. look at the damage, man. This is, and I kind of feel scared. Like this is the kind of hero that
I would like Fico to have a Blightstone. He's flying it out. I hope it's a Blightstone. No, it's not.
He's got a bottle coming out. Yeah.
So neither one of these mid laners like really trying to. Or item wise doesn't look like, or skill point wise doesn't look like they're trying to dominate the lane. So, as you can see what Fico's doing. Fico's got 2 levels of sleight of first. He hasn't skilled his 3rd point yet. He's trying to see what Fico's
So
level
now
is.
he's actually caught out
Another phase
Cuckoo,
shift.
and the damage is pretty good on both sides.
Interesting. I thought like he was holding that to see what Puck skilled, and then when he saw the phase shift, if he had a Blightstone, this Puck would have died.
To be honest, I think what happened was he was holding the point and he was able to walk straight on top of Puck. So he was like, okay, I can use this now,
Yeah.
and then he used it. So I think he was thinking the same lines to you, Notahero. Don't you worry. And he's absolutely dominating the lane again. 14-3 versus 9-0. But the problem is he's going to be able to just keep this lead growing since he's the one controlling the flow. Oh.
Oh, top lane?
Yeah, they've managed to pick up the Tide Hunter, but it's going to be exchanged for the PA. I think they'll be okay with that, to be perfectly honest. Punx will take that trade.
I really don't like this by Cuckoo. Like, he's seen Slider first and Searing Chain skilled now. And he's like this level of Waning Rift is hurting him. He should have like waited. Like kind of like Fico did, like he waited to see what...
I see dead. Cuckoo's in a lot of trouble. This might be enough damage. Tosses out the Fairy Fire though, so he's going to survive. But he's got to be respectful of the fact that that is going to be up again, that combination in 5 seconds. And clearly he can't dodge it, so that catch is not in, he's dead.
Top end? Oof. Nothing
Astra.
surviving on like the least amount of HP you'll ever see in your time.
You need the instant replay on that one. You just see him on like 4 HP or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, no. But Sol's up, back in the lane. I just can't stop watching this mid lane. Like, this is, okay, he's got a level of Waning Rift now, so pretty standard though, but it could have been 2-2 and he could have contested this voice spirit for damage.
I mean, he's pretty much done this lane. We're paying so much attention to this even whilst other lanes are dying, so our apologies. But the reality is that this is where the game is dying right now for DUC. Because
Yeah, and he's got the Blightstone now as well, so yeah, that one he dodged. Yeah, it's just because the first ladder fist didn't...
he actually got hit by he got hit by the Slider Fist there. He took damage. He just, I guess, was scared of the Searing Chains. So that's the kind of situation you're in. And Fico's just going to push out this lane. He's going to fight over these runes. And Cuckoo's got to be careful because if he does get caught on one of these runes far away from his tower, oh, that's a misplay.
He used the Waning. That's fine. See, like, he could have done that, like, from the start of the lane if he took Waning Rift level 2. So, maybe I'm just, like, not understanding this matchup, but I think it would have been better. Safe lane Razor, man. I don't like safe lane Razor, Hellbird. Razor's not an exciting hero, is he? Oh, top lane?
Razor has never been an exciting hero in Legend. Get a little bit of damage up, but they split it. So Astra taking a bit, as well as Nibbling Monkey. They get a couple of Shadow Poisons of their own going back through, so handy. You can see Nibbling. He's got 2 levels in it, so it does hurt, and he's pushing them off that neutral read. Actually, good damage.
Yeah, so I want to hear you...
Bottom lane, Jace.
Oh, wait.
Is he in trouble? No, they do commit the commit to him. FSM's laying into Jace. The damage is good, but he's been abandoned by his
One
core,
charges.
and he's able to dodge it. In comes Nemi.
Fairy Fire.
Well, he gets his link now onto Nemi. Is this going to be a double kill? Nemi, he might have enough damage to the stroke effects there. Punx. Well, I guess you are an exciting hero, Razor. I'm so sorry, we were just insulting you, and then you do go ahead and do that.
That's literally what I wanted to say. Like, so in the middle of a team fight, you go, Razor links someone. Like with the most monotone voice like you could ever say in your entire life.
Okay, so the rest of the game is and Nemi gets a godlike. Okay.
Yeah. He's playing Razor.
I must admit, like, you know, this is something I struggle with a lot about certain Dota heroes. It's like heroes that like you feel like there's only so far you can go with them, right?
Oh like, no, top lane's a disaster now. Well, not a disaster, but Nibbling Monkey killed the courier when it was by the tower. It was flying by the tree line. The Crimson immediately pings behind the tower for a ward, but the ward is not behind the tower. It's actually in front.
That's unfortunate. Oh my! Look at mid. Sorry, again. Look at mid. 18-2 versus 35-11. Level 7 versus level 5. I do not care that you're dying right now, because again,
There's more kills coming out.
yeah, this is their re-engager mid lane. Cuckoo being hunted at the moment by Fico, and he's still going on him. Goes in with the Rem. Is this a solo kill? Might just be using the illusory orb here on the other side. Fico is not respecting this though. Goes back with the side of fist. Doesn't quite have the damage to finish him off. But again, he picks up a haste rune. This is not over. This is not over, friends. This man is too angry. Illusion Orb has been used. He's seen this. Goes to a side of fist, thinking about it. He's still thinking about it. He's waiting for skills to come off cooldown. I think he wants this fight. Fico wrapping around. Cuckoo Gonna see where he is thanks to that hit by the tower. Should be
Monster's
okay in
down.
the end.
Oh,
Bottom lane,
Nemi.
FSM also in trouble here. They might be able to finish the job. Plasma Field is out of cooldown. They're going to go just shy with that stroke fade. Nemi's going to give this one up. Respecting that there could be any sort of response coming in. Coming in from Cuckoo as well. Gets himself a Dream Call onto Jace. Oh, he just doesn't have damage. I actually think he's in trouble here. Gets caught up by the stuns, by the silence, and, well, he might have the damage to finish him off, but he is in trouble. Oh no! Trying to get away, gets Cookie to the other end. That looked beautiful. That was a very interesting mechanic. But FlyCo still beaming down onto DUC, and they're limping away, but they do survive. Top lane's been coming out at the moment. Astra, Crimson Tide with Legend. Thinking about if they can do something here.
Yeah, no, yeah. He's going the Astra watches Hellbird's puppies build. Like phase boosting of health. Yes, I did not forget that.
Okay, well, you know, it's funny as I wasn't going to say anything, but like, you know, this is. I'm just saying you'll find this exact tight hunter build in my puppies.
Yeah.
And look at him go.
Opposition tight hunter.
My Padawan, Astra. Couldn't be more proud of him. Next time I play, I'm going to give him a shout out. Muffin Man bottom lane, being helped out by Nemi as well, or rather, I stand corrected. Muffin Man being helped by FSM as they delete Nemi. 7-5 DUC, still got a sting in their tails. Yeah, still got a bit of a step.
So that's an interesting thing, and that kind of sets a lot of these teams apart from, or the higher, like super high teams like Energy and Sin 5 to like for instance DUC. And nothing against them, but you'll see carries like Depi, the moment a Mars hits level 6 or Beastmaster hits level 6, he's not in this lane. He leaves the lane.
Well, Legend is going to leave this lane as well, by the looks of things. Astra gets caught up by the magic missile. Nibbling Monkey a little bit slower on that one. I think he was not too keen to commit to the kill, but they're opening a lot of pressure here. As you mentioned, this core is in a little bit of trouble here, and Astra, he's going to do what Tidehunters do. He's going to play on this creep wave behind the tower, drag it into the neutral creeps to maximize farm. Crimson Tide, he's actually being caught out here. Do they want this? They're going to get down the banish from the... Oh, hold on. Astra actually might be in trouble here. They're going to turn this one around with Spear of Mars. Out comes the God's Rebuke as well. Astra running down. Caught up by the magic missile. The Ravage comes through. Is he going to turn this one around? They do have help. They're Nibbling's beaming onto Legend. He wants to try and catch up with a couple of Shadow Poisons. They might get the cross kill and do. In comes the FlyCo with damage. Evesports has been caught up by the Dream Core. They actually might be able to turn this one. The Waning Rift is there as well. FlyCo, can he make his way out of here? Because he's being caught out. Gets away a little bit with the Remnant. He's still fleeing. The illusion of tracking him down. He gets onto the low ground. He should survive. But that is a very big kill for DUC onto a couple of heroes, keeping up their cause, and they're going to be grateful that they got that good Dream Call off onto FlyCo just
and there was Ravage used. That was Ravage. That's Ravage blown. So Phantom Assassin feeling a little bit safer, but you can see he's leaving the lane now. He's going bottom. Crimson Tide decides now that's not his area of the map anymore. But as long as Nemi is here, I don't think the PA can lane here. The movement is pretty like staple from like what a carry movements, but he's probably just going to shove out this lane and then go to the triangle.
Well, this game is still pretty close. The win probability favors Punx at the moment, 64%. DUC sitting at 36, obviously, as they have fallen behind the net worth and the experience graph. But at the very least, they do look like they've managed to make some good movements after the end of this laning stage. Crimson Tide, however, can be caught up by Nibbling Monkey. They drop the ward down, and they do have Nemi there as well. Is there anything to help them out? Demonic Plunge onto him. They're even going to pull forward the Ancients, make it as hard as possible to get out of. He does get support from Cuckoo, though. Stays alive. Now, can they make this happen? Nibbling still tossing up those Shadow Poisons, but they're going to be able to go with Plasma Field.
A lot of damage.
Nemi still alive, still doing damage to get the Dream Call off, however. Can they finish the job? Yes, they can. Eventually, yes, there it is. Kill is there, secured by Cuckoo in the end. And they thought about going in after Nibbling, but a decent kill for them did cost a lot of rotations. But remember, their core was under pressure there, so they'll be satisfied with killing one position and keeping theirs alive, even if it took a big rotation.
I can't help but feel if that was any other hero apart from Razor. Did he not have ulti there? If he had Eye of the Storm, I think there was a kill.
No, that would be one too many buttons for a Razor player to hit, huh? Can he hit 2 max? We're sure that's how that works. FSM, is he going to get out? They see him? Yeah, they're not going to commit any further for that. And of course, Legend is just keeping this bottom lane, top lane safe.
That Razor comment made me. I don't even know. Like that's Razor players. He was the pre-techies.
No, dude, it used to be Troll. Hey, Troll was worse because Troll had he had
Troll
a
sniper. Yo.
no. Think about Dota. Okay, hold on. We can't go back in time just yet because there may be action. Okay, so think about Dota 1, right? So Troll had his ability to change from melee form to range form, which you exclusively used to buy Basher once, like whilst in melee form, and then swap into range because it counted as you being a melee hero, right? He then had the I think it was called Fervor at the time, but basically just a frenzy that he had, which was like
Yeah, his ulti gave him additional like max ramp attack speed.
yeah, but basically, long story short, I can't remember what he. And he had the bash, like natural passive.
Okay, you say this, but I think Ricky Dota 1 was worse.
No, the point is not about being imbalanced. It's about being autopilot. Like there was nothing to do. The hero, you hit.
So
you preemptively click
worst
spells.
version of Dragon Knight.
Something like that. Anyways, enough of that nonsense. In the
Ravage
mid
is
lane
up.
they go. Astra on the front lines has his Hood of Defiance up as well, so he's a tanky lad. Of course, they have a lot of tanky heroes with FICO damage able to deal a fair amount of damage. He does have the Orb of Corrosion up, but more importantly, the Javelin, so he will hurt. Cuckoo can tell you firsthand. But they need to make sure that they get this nice and clean. No one's caught on the defense because the Dream Coil's actually really good. They pop the leash immediately onto FICO. The damage coming from Mortimer. They really do a lot of work here. They're able to scamper in the balls as well. He gets on the arena for the sidelines. Astra gets all four. You absolute beauty. The cookie goes onto a corpse, and Legend & Co are falling apart here. FSM all alone. He wants to try and get the final bit of damage onto FICO, but they're never going to let that happen. Astra running down. The Stroke of Fate is there with the gush, and FSM slowly but surely goes down. That is 4 for 1. Duck, you picked it, but it did not work out at all. Well, Crimson does at the very least have a Battle Fury up, so there's that. But that is certainly a scary moment for DUC and their fans. That one's going to hurt. Let's take a look at the fight recaps, see how it goes. It's sitting at about 3,000, well, actually called 2,000 XP change, gold change only 1,000, so it could have been worse, but definitely going to reflect bigger on the win probability. It had gone all the way back down 60%, it's now back up to a close 70%. And they are looking very, very good.
Gold for me.
Living Monkey and Mike are going to push out the mid lane. One of the big concerns right now for DC is they have got a very little map presence at the moment. Take a look at these towers. Top tower sitting at 1.2k HP. Mid tower, pristine. You can still sell that on eBay. And bottom lane, it's looking even better. And the best work being done right now by the creeps. So this tower damage is a big problem for them at the moment. Jace and Co, however, they're going to look to defend the safe lane tower. They're moving there. They've got the smoke up as well, and they're making their way towards the triangle of DUC, where they will potentially walk straight into Crimson. Now, they're going to go the long way around. And you can see Muffin Man. He's going to face check and make sure that if anything's there, it's on him, and they will be on him. He doesn't want to end this, but he's being cookied forward. He gets on the arena. This is somewhat defensive because he wants it out, but FSM cookied him when he turned. Now there's problems. Nice disruption comes out as well. They bring down the Mars pretty much for free. And I think with that messy engagement, there might be like if that's all that happens, Legend scampers away in the bottom lane or towards the bottom of the triangle.
Dire's bottom tower is under
FICO
attack.
and Nemi gonna walk straight into Legend. He definitely stuck around for too long, and should be a nice, tasty, easy kill. Goes down Yen. Tosses out a swap for the memes, I guess, but really nothing in it. Bottom lane. Cuckoo and Co, they're trying to deal with Astra. This is a very ambitious kill though. This is a Tidehunter with Ravage next to a tower. I don't think the two of you are taking this kill. It's starting to look very dire here for DUC. And I'm not talking about their side of the map, I'm talking about their win chances here and their lives inside EGL 1 Season 2. Career flying out. What's it got? Actually catch what it delivered, but did something. But more importantly, Punx are delivering a map control right now.
Dire's
Take a look for a moment.
is under attack.
You can see that they have really deep vision and all of their lanes pushing in nicely. We're going to send a FICO damage Evesports to the top lane to deal with Crimson Tide. Crimson has taken so much damage. Is he just going to get soloed by this? He's in a lot of trouble here. Trying to back off now. Goes wide of the Ember Remnant, but he's just going to be solo killed. By the looks of things, yes, run down by FICO. That is not okay. That is not okay for DUC. They're really going to be suffering from that one now. There's the one thing going right for them. They just saw how easily FICO can deal with them. It's got the Maelstrom up, and the Orb of Corrosion's only going to get worse from there. Bottom lane, they're going to lose their last tier 1 tower as well. As Punx, Station Astra, Nemi, and Jace in that bottom lane. Tower gets fortified, but will fall. Smoke being used by DUC. Now, bear in mind, there's no ways for that Phantom Assassin to realistically get into this fight. They do have eyes on Nemi, and this is probably the best possible chance they can go. Nemi caught out here. They're going to drop down more as well. The Wayne receiver coming out from Cuckoo. They're actually going to aggressively. The Dream Call's used just onto Jace. They want to make absolutely everything out of this opportunity. They swap him from Legend and pump the coil. They're going to pick up 2 kills there. It's a Sport and a Core. Does come at a big expense with multiple ultis used. But right now, I like it. They needed to do something. And the very least, it buys them a little bit of reprieve. But it's only 20 seconds. These players are going to be back up soon. And then the pressure will start to mount again. Cuckoo finds himself the illusion room, which could be handy if he's caught up by a couple of shadow poisons or something. Tower finally taking some damage in the bottom lane. FSM wants to hurt it, but they're scared. You can see their position here. They're not keen on committing to this position. Once again, looking at the map, you can see that vision-wise, Punx still have such a big advantage, and they know that something's up because the top lane, there is a creep wave pushing in, nobody responding to it, so they know that they have lots of space to work with on their side of the map, on the top side of the map. FSM and Cuckoo, they will finish off the tower in the bottom lane though. Can they make something of this? You can see a cancelled TP from someone, not too sure what it was, didn't quite catch it. Crimson Tide go, they're drawing out circles towards the mid lane. I don't think Punx have done the most with this little bit of space that they had, maybe just respecting the fact that there wasn't a huge amount of vision on the position from DUC after they took down that tower, so we're not sure if they're going to wrap around them, but they are going to make their way up towards the tier 2 tower on the top lane now. This is Dota by numbers, if you will, as they know that the next best objective is to bring down the tier 2 tower, move directly onto the outpost next, and really start hammering in this position. Scoreboards actually looking a little bit better for DUC. They've kind of stopped the rot, and they can keep that for a while. Maybe they'll still have a chance in this. It isn't done for them just yet. 38-62%. Seen bigger comebacks in the past for sure. At the moment, it looks like they're going to sacrifice this tier 2 tower for the mid lane by the looks of things. In fact, FSN, the only person charged with dealing damage, and he's just going to commit the little shredder onto the tower, and now he's going to back off, but they're going to start bringing support. They scan that though, so Cuckoo may know he's there. Does he want to go on it? Nemi showing himself. He's got the Heaven's Hellbird up, so he is a tanky fella. They could still go on this. Blink Dagger is available. He's in range if he wants it. He's decided to go up the high ground instead. He's going to find Jace. Tosses through an illusion orb, but at the end, they have... Oh no. Oh no, oh no. Punx are fake backed. Let's see if they can make this one work. Astra, Jace, and Monkey. They're going to face check the high ground. That's an illusion. No one fall for it. They're too wise. They're going to go around. This guy, of course, going to give them a little bit extra information. Beautiful phase shift, but he was caught on the other side. Muffler Man's still in trouble. In comes FICO damage. Can they make this one turn around? They're going to catch up FICO, but he picks up the BKB. He gets in with the Remnant. A lot of damage onto Legend as well. FICO in trouble. Nemi running him down. They're going to lose 2 minutes. They did fly back on the Grimstroke for this. Usual fly through, but FSM falls on top of it. Nemi hunting behind the tier 2 tower. He's not going to find much, but Crimson Tide is in there. Gets a little bit of help from Cuckoo, but look at the damage coming from FICO. It's really good. Cuckoo, super low. He's going to be able to get a little bit of distance between himself, but the Searing Chains, excuse me, the Side of Fist is there. Ultra kill for FICO. Going to be 5 for 2. They did have the buyback on the Jace Grimstroke, but to be perfectly fair, that is a huge problem for DUC. Another massive loss. They do, I guess, in a way, get some kind of benefit of the fact that there's a buyback from the Grimstroke, so it was in fact 3 for 5, but they lose their the tier 2 tower, and again, this PA just looks so fragile. He's going for the BKB. Maybe once that's up, he can deal some damage, but right now, he's just being dealt with by FICO. Alright, well, whilst we wait for DUC to make their way back onto the map, we are going to do our draw now. So, we're going to be giving away our 250 Rand Steam voucher. Of course, this applies only to South African residents. Please bear that in mind. But it's going to be Fractu who has won the giveaway. Please make sure that you go ahead and respond in the chat. Respond to the admins, otherwise I'm going to give it to somebody else. So beware. Beware. It's going to go to me if you don't respond. Okay, the admins are not going to let that happen. I can see them shouting at me already. But as long as nobody can't have it. The admin, not nobody. You know what I mean? Anyways, Legend caught out here, goes down. He's moving towards his Agnum Scepter, but still a ways away. Also, the Stephanie can't have it either. That's a new rule here. Hear that? I am the lord of this cast now. I don't know why I picked it. I just saw your name in chat. I'm sorry. It was mean of me. I hope you'll accept my apologies. FSM, oh, caught up by the steering chains. Vico enjoying this one as well. FSM able to cookie away for the time being, but he knows his fate's over. It's sealed. Vico slowly but surely beats him up. Finds yet another kill. Just take a look at this man for a moment. 12-0-3, ladies and gentlemen. If you want somebody to carry you through EGL 1 Season 2, you could have asked for much better than Vico at the moment. Game against some superb opposition in the form of DUC. It's been a masterclass of Dota from him. Congratulations, Fractu. I can see you have responded in chat, so thank you for saving us from our admins and their wrath of...
Dire are
I don't know where I'm going with this one. Don't worry about it.
There's too many darn wizards.
But alright,
Too many darn wizards.
DUC and Punx. 22-14 at the moment it stands. The win probably sliding all the way to 74%. Remember, if DUC loses, there is no lower bracket to fall into. They're already there. And this will be the end of their series. And of course, they had a fabulous Season 1. They do not want things to end like this. They wanted to go further, push further, and they will be incredibly disappointed if Punx can send them home tonight. But right now, Vico is looking to do just that. Crimson Tide still farming away. He's got that BKB up. This is a very important moment for the man. He can finally just lay in. Doesn't have to worry about the Tide Hunter knocking with the Ravage. Of course, there are still BKB pendering spells like the Demonic Purge, so it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. But look at Jace go, he's destroyed. Mortimer, what are you doing? There's nothing to blow kisses at. You see the power of a PA. In that case, they're not even relying on much of the anti-armor, etc. But look at the backline, Psycho damage is there. He's going to have to grab it back. In comes the Tide Hunter, he catches out 4, and Legend, he's going to be used as a stun, but that's all he's going to contribute to the fight. They've already lost 2. FSM and Legend on the deck again, and Vico, he doesn't care, he doesn't need an Aegis. He's got a BKB, and right now, 20 levels, which is absurd at the moment. Dreamcore comes out, it's a really good one. Of course, there is no BKB on Vico this time around. He's just waiting it out though. Kuku, they don't quite have the damage. Crimson Tide, he's in trouble, has to blink back, goes back, but Astra's on top of him. He's lost some of his damage. 92 stolen by the Razor. Legend is back, and they do manage to catch off Vico in the rear, but he does not care at all. Astra, they're still trying to deal with him. DUC do not have answers at the moment. When Crimson lost his damage, they lost the fight as well, forced to BKB and run away. That's not what they need. Punx looking like they are ready to seal the deal. Cuckoo and Co. desperate to find a way back in. Even with the BKB down from Vico, they don't have the damage blown up. He's got the Agnum Scepter as well, so still super evasive. Even without BKB, they need Waning Rift down. Some sort of crits of the gods coming out from Crimson Tide, and a little bit of good fortune. But right now, it is looking very one-sided. Punx, they'll finish off the tier 2 tower in the mid lane. Once that's done, maybe Roshan's on the card, maybe it's high ground, but the world is quite literally their oyster.
Tower is under attack.
Gonna send the Razor towards the top lane. Nemi gonna farm that one up. He's got the BKB up as well as the Heaven's Hellbird. He's gonna be moving towards an Assault Cuirass soon. Still a fair ways from it, but that's on his agenda. As for the Tide Hunter, finished off the Agnum Scepter as well now, so AoE armor reduction is always great. Must be something else for the Grimstory. It's a full Blink Dagger, so Jason mobility now, scary. He's going to be able to pin 2 targets
pretty reliably. Even if he dies, job will be done. And of course, as mentioned, FICO, full Ags, Maelstrom, and Black King Bond. The other side of the river is not looking as good. Legend still far away from that Ags. See that. There is a full Solar Crest and FSN, but that's all he has to speak of. Muffin Man close to his BKB, but gonna need a little bit of extra time. They're gonna have to give up Roshan for it. Crimson Tide now moving towards his Desolator. And he's getting close, but it looks like he wants to save for buyback. He feels like he needs it. The bottom lane, Cuckoo, trying to push out the lanes. He's actually... Has he got a full... Looks like he's going for Ags. But I only see 2 parts in his stash. So nothing queued up just yet. So this is interesting. But he, one way or another, is very close to it. Either it's flying out towards... Or he's going to buy it manually, but he is there. So this Aegis fight is going to be really important. The Aegis actually goes the way of the Nemi Lightning Revenant. So he's going to be happy to stand on the front lines. Make life for Astra and FICO that much easier. But it does look like Duck are ready to take the fight up the high ground. To me, Punx. Ready to take the fight up the high ground. The bottom lane is being pushed up by Crimson Tide. He's trying to split push. Got the Death up as well, so no buyback from him. Does mean he can put a lot of pressure on the tier 2 tower. Should be rewarded with it. Can they hold though? I mean, his job has got to be going to this tier 3. Make it difficult for Punx to commit to this. Nemi doesn't care at all though. Onto the front lines they go. They're going to catch out Legend. Root up, toss us through to the Wave of Terror. But they're getting good damage out. Bottom lane though, look, Crimson Tide, he's making this work. Cuckoo's trying to creep script as well. This is a beautiful play by Duck, but they just don't have the damage to get through that backdoor protection. Muffin Man's going to spear Astra on the backside. They cannot let this man move. If he gets off of Ravage, it'll be huge. He's not able to do so, and they are going to be able to finish off the tier 3 tower. DKB is popped by 2, but that is an Axe. They're turning this one around. Nami's bouncing around, but out comes a Soul Bite. Can they finish with Nami? They get the Spirit Force down. They're going to bring down the Aegis for the first time. On the backline, FICO! He's going to go down! They actually managed to finish the man off. The monster of this game is down. And they haven't even lost that much. They've kept both racks alive. Sure, they lose their tier 3, but look at the other side of the river. They've done damage as well. DUC will not go that easily into the darkness. And man, that is a lifeline for the team of DUC. Nemi aggressively goes back in onto FSM. Muffin Man's there to help him out. That's going to be enough to discourage further engagement. They don't know if there's a monster in Crimson Tide waiting around, because now he's feeling good. He's got the same net worth as the Ember Spirit. Oh man. Taking a look at the graphs, it is a different story than it was just a moment ago. They've pulled this back from a 76 versus 24% win probability all the way back down to 41.59. DUC are alive. Can they make this work though? They're not out of harm's way just yet. Nibbling Monkey caught out. He's going to be destroyed. The damage is pretty good, but they get the disarm off onto the Crimson Tide Phantom Assassin. He's trying to deal with the Phantasm, walk it down, but the Ravage comes on the back line. They lose the puck. Cuckoo down already. They're going to lose the Mars as well. He manages to spear up Jace, but they're on the retreat now. They've lost 3 already. The Caster's Curse might have been it, because DUC, just as things looked like they were finally turning, they are in trouble again. Crimson Tide limping back up the high ground, gets a little bit of damage onto Nemi thanks to the Stifling Dagger. He wants to try slow him down, but those creeps are going to make their way in. What do the buyback says look like? They do have buybacks on the P8 and the Snapfire, but they don't have it on the Mars. He's 22 short, so they're going to have to give this one up for sure. Maybe they've lasted long enough though. Didn't stop another fight. It's unlikely that they'll bring down 2 racks before DUC can take another fight. But it is likely that's exactly what Punk's going to try to do. They have the top lane exposed. They can start putting some pressure on. They have 13 seconds till Cuckoo's back up. He will have a buyback the next fight at the very least.
There's too many darn wizards.
They've kept up their range racks. That is something. They probably would have been okay if the last fight had ended the exact same way, but they had kept up their melee racks. So their range racks and lost their melee. They'd probably still been satisfied with it. They smoke out immediately. They're moving their way towards their own jungle. They're smoked up, and this could work out. Astra's positioned well though. Crimson Tide going to chase check him. The damage from Astra is going to destroy him. BKB from Crimson Tide. He's running down Nemi. They're going to catch him out with the Dream Club, but they don't want to go down the high ground. In comes FICO back straight up. They get the Soul Bind out. Mortimer trying to help out. Muffin Man getting low, but more importantly, they get the PA down, and that might just be all she wrote. FICO standing strong, trying to help out Jace. Jace is low, gets his defensive disruption to come out. Muffin Man brought down again. There's still a rider. Cuckoo doesn't have the damage, but FICO does. FSM goes down. That's an ultra. Get over here, Cuckoo. I want to have a chat with you. He's got all the other way, though. Cuckoo does not want to give up this rampage. Buyback comes from the Mars. He's trying to boogie out of there. Know where he is. They've seen him from the Shadow Demon, but he is most likely out of there. One more blink available. Doesn't have a blink dagger. He actually might be in trouble here. Nibbling has somewhat given up. They used their scan back towards the tier 2 tower. They thought he'd be going that way. He wasn't.
Is under attack.
But perhaps a mad chase for that rampage, understandable as is, might have been a lifeline for DUC, because if they had gone straight onto the tier 2, excuse me, the tier 3s in the top lane, they would have got a huge amount of work out of it. FICO, though, again, just cementing his place as the raid boss of this game. I mean, I can't stress this enough, like how good DUC are. I'm sure many of us here have felt their wrath in the pubby. In fact, maybe some of you enjoying it for exactly that reason. But FICO is 21-3. He is destroying DUC at the moment. He has been so good, and oh man, he's picked up Enchant Quiver as well, so that first hit is going to be even more devastating. Legend and Co, they're in their triangle at the moment, but there is a smoke there. Cuckoo face checks it. This could be it. He's in trouble. Is he able to get out? He didn't go to his... Oh no! He didn't go to his orb. He goes down for free. I think he may have a buyback. He does. He's going to be forced to pop it for sure, because there's no way his Punk's going to let you off that easy. They're going to stampede down mid lane and force that buyback from you, Duck. Of course, this lane is exposed. Astra immediately onto the high ground. We'll finish off this rack short, but we have our attention set on this top lane. Unfortunately for them, it is pushed out, but they'll be able to get through the back door regardless, because they have the mid push. Astra stations himself right on top of that tier 2. He wants to make sure that he's able to get off a big ravage should it come to Crimson Tide, though. Position well. He's going to try on that back line. Nibbling Monkey. He's got a gem on him. Could be a nice, tasty target if you get him. They're going to buy back on the puck. You can see Nibbling and Jace intelligently move their way onto the other side. They're protected by their cores now. Stop any engagement from Crimson Tide on the sidelines. There is a DD up, but that is on another continent right now. For Duck, they are trapped inside their base. They've bought back on the puck. So this fight, if it goes south, is likely the end of the game. The end of EGL 1 Season 2 for DUC. Astra again goes in deep. Got that Ravage available. Tanky Tidehunter. FSM trying to probe and poke. They're looking for a way in, looking to get beyond this wall of Astra and Nemi, because FICO's the one, but they have managed to get onto the back lines. Crimson Tide is going to try to finish the job on the supports, but he's caught up by Nemi. This is a problem. He's able to get away though, but Astra right on top of him. However, that BKB persisted. Back comes in FICO. They finish the puck. He is down now, but Spirit Balls comes to Astra and Nemi, pushing him away, but this might be it. Buyback comes in from the Shadow Demon. They want to finish this one off. Legend gets a magic missile onto FICO. They're still trying to get away from him at the moment. DKB up. In comes Crimson Tide. He's in trouble here. He blinked forward aggressively. Does have the damage. Not quite. FICO stays alive. He's still alive, but they will bring down the PA. He buys back immediately. They're still bound together. Crimson tosses out the Stifling Dagger. He wants to get in there. Wants to try and potentially turn this one around, but they are going to lose their top lane of racks. At the very least, they want it. They know that this remnant place is going to be used in just a moment, and it is, and deep they go. FICO aggressively catches out Crimson Tide, and he's in a lot of trouble here. He is being burnt down at the moment. He managed to get up the high ground. The stroke of faith, not quite enough. Crimson Tide limping around. He wants an opportunity to stay alive, gets a little bit of help, but he's slowly but surely being ticked away. Is likely he'll survive this, and maybe they get to make one last stand, but it is 5 versus 2 at the moment. They're looking to probe their way in, find some kind of opportunity to stay alive, but DUC are most likely out of EGL Season 2. Defensive disruption comes in. Crimson, he does have the blink strike available, gonna go on the other side. He's in trouble, push back. They didn't mean for this to happen, but Crimson, that is all they wrote, and that is DUC out of EGL 1 Season 2. Punx will win it, and they made it look so good. But okay, let's be real. FICO damage, that is the man that you all need to take a moment to applaud, because that was an exceptional, not game, but series from the man. 24-1-8 in a elimination matchup is crazy stuff. It's sad to see DUC go. It always is sad to see DUC go. But at the very least, say that they went down to an amazing team. Punx looked really great. And again, it was the FICO damage show. Well, let's take a quick peek at the graphs. I mean, let's take a look at the damage. That's the thing I've been really interested to see, because FICO, obviously, he was delivering 51,000. That is not far off the combined total of pretty much all his teammates. I mean, it's really impressive, the amount of work he's able to do. Now, bear in mind, Astra as well as Nemi did a great job creating this front line for him. They were both very tanky. You had the hoodie come out from the Astra Tidehunter, and just the raw stats coming out from the Agnum Scepter. And then, of course, with Nemi going with the AAC build, Heaven's Hellbird and Black King Bar, he was also just another problem for DUC to try to maneuver around. Unfortunately for them, they just did not have answers to this. Legend, obviously, would have loved to be in these positions where he could swap people out and cause havoc, etc. But he had to use his spells defensively or look for those Hail Mary swaps, which just weren't working out for him. Although, unfortunately for Cuckoo in mid, he kind of again got pretty much rolled over in the early stages. He made a bit of a comeback. I mean, I appreciate the fact that he didn't just roll over and die. Did a fair amount of work as far as things were keeping DUC alive for a while, but ultimately it just wasn't enough. And even though, again, I think it was a great season, a great series from Crimson Tide, he really did have a lot of farm, a lot of momentum for an individual in the series, but unfortunately he just didn't have the backup. He didn't have the kind of support that we saw FICO damage getting from the likes of Astra and Nemi. And I'm not blaming the DUC cause for this happening, more so just that the team effort that came in from Punx, the way that they all kind of played around FICO and enabled him in such a great way is the ultimate decider of this matchup. But alright, it's almost 10 o'clock. I'm sure you guys are hoping to enjoy some Dota games yourselves. I'm sure there's going to be some Evesports and Necrophos played in pubbies tonight, and I wish you the best of luck reproducing the performance of FICO. And of course, again, we'll say farewell to DUC. Thank you for entertaining us in this season, and we hope we'll see. I mean, look, it's Duck, right? We're going to be seeing a lot more of Duck pretty much forever. I'm going to be very grey by the time DUC aren't around anymore. But anyways, I think it's time to close things off. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure casting for you. I hope you've had as much fun as I have, and we'll see you soon for some more EGL 1 Season 2 action. But for tonight, have a great one. Bye-bye.